Alright guys, today we are actually going to be talking about some parenting 101 stuff. So we had a situation in the martial arts school. We had a family and there's a couple different points of discussion that came out of it. But today I want to share with you something about really understanding where your kids are developmentally and give you some ways to understand their attitude and expectations. Because if you are expecting your kids to perform at a level they literally are biologically incapable of performing at, you're setting yourself up for failure and stress and drama and grief, and you're just making the kids feel bad, and you're hurting your relationship with them, and then wait till they become a teenager and it just gets worse.
Right, and if you don't really know what we're talking about, we're talking kind of sort of about this whole, I feel like a lot of parents today are obsessed about finding their kids' niche or what they're really good at or what they're excelling at, and I just feel like there's a lot of pressure to put your kid in a certain compartment, whether they're really good at soccer or gymnastics or they're bilingual or...
My kid belongs somewhere, and if he doesn't have that thing, there's a huge problem.
Right, but then also having your kid want to be excelling at that thing and want to be dedicated to it and wanting... you always want your husband to want to do things, right?
I don't want to do the dishes.
Well, it's almost like your kids. I want my kids to want to do this thing that we're paying so much money for them to do.
Right, and they do want to do it in the moment, and when they get there, but the transitions are hard. I'm playing my video game, I'm outside playing with my friends, I'm doing X and Y and Z, and yeah, I said I want to do soccer, I want to do martial arts, I want to do whatever the case. That transition can sometimes be frustrating, and why do I have to chase you down and remind you 10 times and do all these other things? Because that's where they are.
Sometimes I feel like parents expect their kids literally to be grown-ups, overnight, or
Well, I told you, twice. You should know. I just, listen.
So it takes 30 days to build a habit, right? Doesn't that mean you have to tell your kids 30 times?
Today. So here's what's going on, okay? You have a kid brain and you have a teenage brain. And adults basically have teenage brains. And the way that works is generally between 9 and 12 years old, your kid is going to switch gears from being a child to being a teenager. And with societal pressure, with a couple other factors that can kick in, biologically, normally, it can happen as young as 7 and it can happen as late as 14. And then when you add in, traumatic life experiences, moving, death of the family, death of a family member, abuse, that shift can actually happen closer to 2, 3 years old. When that shift happens between 9 and 12, that's when you're going to see the kids begin to take more ownership, more responsibility, that kind of thing. And like I said, it can happen as late as 14. And unfortunately, ladies, you're going to have some patience muscles, because that thing that deals with consequences and follow-through and commitment, it's really part of your forebrain. It's up here in the frontal lobe. That has to connect to the midbrain, and it takes a while to wire in. It takes guys into our late 20s for it to fully link. Women can happen 2, 5, 10 years earlier. So that's why women tend to be better at taking responsibility for things, because their brains literally get in gear quicker than guys do.
That's why they say that girls are more mature than boys, and that's scientifically why. There's the connection. There's the missing piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely.
So
if you're running with a teenager, you have to work with them differently than a little kid. Little kids are literal. They'll do what you tell them to, what you ask them to. They'll only think the next block. They won't do those next couple of steps. So one of the things we use in the martial arts school is when we're doing exercises or drills, when somebody realizes, oh, we're too close and we need to move, that's a teenage brain type of awareness. Little kids will be right next to each other doing the drills and knocking into each other, and you fix that, and then they go down the row and they turn around, they go back the other side of the room, and they're doing it again. Why? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? Because their brains literally don't chunk space. They literally forgot. You just ran into them 4 seconds ago. Oh, I did? Oh, okay. And then they run into them again 10 seconds later. What are you doing? Because that's where their brains are, not because you're doing things wrong as a parent.
yeah, and I can honestly say, I don't know if we've ever really had this conversation in person or in this depth, but I don't think I actually got into things until it was probably 9 or 10, probably 3rd or 4th grade. That's when I was oh, I actually want to go do stuff like soccer or sports or whatever. But then it probably wasn't until honestly I was 14 to where I was oh, I actually really do want my grades to be good, and I actually really do want to excel at a certain sport or a certain activity. But you know, like, it was also me making the decision, not my parents.
Right.
Which is also helpful, which, you know, if you're a parent trying to figure out what your kid is in a prodigy in and they hate it, then that's kind of a recipe for disaster. Also, if you've had your, like, let's say daughter in ballet since she was like 3 and now she's 12, she's literally been doing that activity for 9 years. And she might be burnt out, she might be bored, she might not even want to do it anymore. And the fact of the matter is, you know...
But she might not know how to tell you.
Right.
And not knowing how to open that conversation, continue to do a thing that she doesn't like, and then the resentment builds against you, and then you get this whole drama as a teenager.
Right.
It suddenly comes out of nowhere. It's like, well, but you always loved it. You never said anything. Yeah, because I didn't have any personal power or ability to speak up for myself.
Can we just say hashtag living vicariously through your kids?
Hashtag bad parenting.
Hashtag, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing that.
Oh, hashtag. In my day, it was a pound sign.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
He's like, this is pound.
This is the pound sign.
This
It's
is
not
the
a hashtag.
pound sign. It's like, no, that's a hashtag.
Whatevers. Okay, guys, so thanks for tuning in today. And if you found that discussion interesting, I want to let you know we actually have dun, 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 an international best-selling book available from Amazon.com. It is the only parenting book that I know of that comes with a money-back guarantee. It's called Your Best Child Ever, Is This Game Worth Winning? And there are a bunch of different chapters, short little things, a couple little action guides or action steps or questions. It's available on Amazon as paperback or Kindle. I do recommend you get the paperback just because you can fill things out, you can write it out. There's some things in here, some different sections that you can actually go through and take quizzes and answer and stuff. And it's written very conversationally, so it sounds a lot like the way Autumn and I are talking. And we'd love to have your feedback. Now, this book is not, we're making like $3, $4 off a book. This is not going to change our lives if you buy the book. However, if you can improve your communication, motivation, attitude at home with your family and your kids, this can literally be life-changing for you. And comes with a money-back guarantee, so you're not out anything if you don't like what we have to say. So you make it an outstanding day. Put the link to this down below in the comments section, so we'd really appreciate it if you grab a copy. And if you like what you read, give us a review. And if you don't like what you read, you should still give us a review so we can make improvements. And you make it an outstanding day. We will see you when we see you. Bye.